Hello and welcome to MCFC 9320 PUBcast in conjunction with the Mancunian Way. Hello everybody. Hello Martin.
Sorry, I'm just sorting out my camera. Evening.
If you need to sort it out better, mate, turn it off. I'm sure. Good evening, everybody in the comments as well. It's quite busy in the comments already. Listen, the purpose of this stream tonight is, I know the title really of the show was why are players turning us down, etc. Well, that's what we want to get into a little bit. Are players really turning us down, or are we really going in for them? A City trying to push the price up for, say, Declan Rice to Arsenal to over 100 million, so their budget is a little bit, don't know. So we want your input tonight, guys. Me, Martin, will waffle on as normal. So yeah, Martin, have us sum that up, or do you want to add anything?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, good.
I've got a little bit of a spin that I've been doing some research all day, and I've been I don't look at what I've been doing all day is looking at it from the West Ham point of view. Obviously, we're talking about Declan Rice, and I've been looking at a lot of the West Ham side. There's a couple of really good people on Twitter who are quite knowledgeable for West Ham stuff. There's ex-West Ham employee in West Ham Central who are quite the people who I'm sort of following. I'm not actually following journalists. I'm following them because they're the ones who seem to be on the ball with what's going on. From what I'm reading, because obviously it came out 2 days ago and yesterday, City were going to get Rice, blah, 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 blah. Down, Demarcio, it's done. Very, very close. Then Fabrizio, there's a bid going in. Then Ornstein did an interview yesterday. There's a bid going in. Blah, blah, blah.
You're stealing my thunder because I was going to have a go at the Three Stooges, to be fair, mate. Because everyone seems to be hanging every word on Fabrizio, whatever he's called, and David Ornstein. Now, if you remember, my friend, on Thursday night on your show, I got a little bit heckled, and not by you, necessarily you, a bit heckled and chuckled at when I said everybody just needs to calm down, hanging on everybody's word that the Rice deal was done. I said, let's have a bit of caution. Carry on, my friend.
Yeah, but my point is here, I've got a feeling West Ham are playing a very clever game. West Ham have rejected 2 bids from Arsenal. Arsenal are notorious for being Scrooge McDuck. Ebenezer Scrooge. Don't want to pay us. It's like anything. When you want to buy a car, it is only you interested in that car, you're not going to get any deals. It becomes a pay the price. As the seller, if you start having 2 or 3 people interested in the car, you can start going, all right, then who wants to pay the asking price, who doesn't, blah, blah, blah. Like anything in life. And I honestly think, listen, do I think City are interested in Rice? 100%. Because like I said, there is no coincidence at the back end of last week, Sam Lee and a few others all come out and said, soon as Ilkay Gundogan goes, or Ilkay Gundogan has to make a decision, City need to move on. Then obviously, Ilkay Gundogan goes. Then I do know, they have made inquiries for Rice. They have. Where the thing is
let's dissect it a little bit, right? So we was all led to believe. By the way, do you like me city light? You can't tell it properly because of the light in there. Very nice addition to the old PUBcast. So anyway, right, let's dissect it a little bit. We was all led to believe City wouldn't have gone in to West Ham if they thought Declan Rice wasn't interested in coming to City. Lo and behold, City are about to put the bid in for Declan Rice to West Ham. So surely City must have got some encouragement from Declan Rice that he wanted to come to City. Now, what we're hearing today is Declan Rice's first option is Arsenal. So
that's changed now. That's changed in the last hour.
oh, has it?
Again, changed again. This is what
Sorry,
I mean.
I've been
changing.
I've been doing. By the way, everybody, let us know about if you like the new intro. What I've been working on this afternoon, and I've missed the important news. What we're here to talk about.
No, again, because I was following the West Ham guys, and they were it was the West. Listen, this did not come out from Arsenal about City rejecting. Did not come out from City about Rice rejecting. It came out from West Ham. It was all coming out of the West Ham end that Rice preferred Arsenal. It's now come out in the last hour. They've now backtracked and gone, kind of got that wrong. City haven't made the bid yet. It is coming though. So I don't know where the hell we're going now in this little game, because this has now become a game. I always say the trouble is Arsenal have got an head start. Arsenal have been getting on this deal since January.
Mm-hmm.
City were focusing on one player in January. You know they were. I know they were. Despite him not coming, City had all their eggs in one basket.
Which is very un-City-like over...
Very un-City-like. So I always say something went wrong in that deal somewhere. Something kiboshed in that deal. Because City had gone all out for Jude. City were all Jude. Liverpool had pulled out and it was City and Madrid. City and Madrid. Me and you had been told that off people close to it. Or within the know. That City were Jude. For whatever reason then, and we both said it was between us and Real Madrid. We knew that. But for whatever reason, City, I don't know whether Jude told us late or whatever, we went, okay, and Jude went. The trouble is, it's very hard to come into a sort of deal like this. Is what I say to people. £100 million deals don't get done in 3 days.
No.
They're worked upon. They're looked upon. If you remember, United, this is what I keep saying to everyone. The personal terms are actually the first thing that get agreed.
Which is weird, isn't it, these days? Because it used to be classed as tapping up that. It seems the norm, in it, to go to a player now with sort of like isn't it? It's
like Gvardiol. We've agreed personal terms. We've not even sat with Leipzig yet. Kovacic, we'd agreed the personal terms before we even got the bid put in.
Right. Well, let's go. Let's just sort of like go a bit itsy witsy here. Right. Let's talk about Kovacic now. Fabrizio, the brain, is now saying it'll be done in 2 days. Kovacic, after him saying it's already done. Everyone's
he's done his medical. He did do his medical. His medical was done yesterday.
But he said it was done. Everything was done, and now he's saying 2 days.
I think he meant contracts and personal.
I think people, us included, mate. When I say this, us included, we've got to stop hanging every word onto these journalists, because let's not forget it's clickbait for them, and we're
somehow
aiding and abetting, if that's a phrase.
Somehow, some are not. It's like you look at certain journalists; they're all in. And you always know this because my dad's best mate worked for the MEN, which I've said for loads. Doesn't anymore. Did work for them for a very long time for the MEN himself, and you get a lot of journalists who work for certain clubs, like the Northwest. You'll get Northeast journalists, Southern journalists, all that. And the City ones are generally Jack Gorn. Who's the other one for the Daily Mail? There's Jack Gorn and somebody else, and then there's Sam Lake. Now, they do get told info. They do. Some of it doesn't come from the club; it comes from agents.
Of course, listen, I'm not naive enough to think that certain things don't get out, because certain things do. However, what we're seeing now is what is becoming a bit of a circus. And I've left Julie's comment there. Did we even actually bid? Julie, the honest answer is we don't know. Because we was told a bid was going in by these so-called journalists who know everything, and then the bid's not going. The bid's not gone in yet because they've agreed stuff with Declan Rice himself, but the bid's going in. So I think it's a finger in the air job, really, and that's what we want to try and get into tonight.
You've got to be careful how City do stuff. I always look at it like people are putting journalists' lies and everything else. It's like I'm trying to get a good example. Let's look at Neymar. Do you remember when City were linked with Neymar by everyone?
Mm-hmm.
We were going to buy Neymar. What did City do?
They came out straight away.
Straight away. No interest. When we were linked with Messi for like the 500th time, came out. No interest.
And even over the past few days, Pep, when he was asked about Mbappe.
Yeah, we know where he's going.
Yeah.
Do you remember now, according to Alan, Alan's in the chat, my old buddy, my old Mancunian way companion, said to me, which I get, some do, journalists are all liars. Pep was asked about Jude Bellingham 4 months ago in a press conference. His exact words. Currently, he's a Dortmund player. We will see in a few months.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he said. If City are not in for a player and it's a load of crap, they will come out instantly and get rid of it. No interest. So when City stay quiet is when you start listening. When City are just stum on it. They never came out once and went, you remember everyone, it was everywhere all over the country, City were in for Bellingham. If City weren't in for Bellingham, they'd have turned around and gone, we're not in for Bellingham. You don't use our football club.
Okay, Charlie's
Rice.
got a great point there, mate. I've seen nothing that Rice prefers Arsenal. We've not seen
it come out the West Ham end. It's the West Ham end that's come out with that.
But who's to say these are reliable sources?
There's a guy, has anyone ever heard of West Ham Fan TV?
Yes.
The guy on there knows Declan Rice's family personally. The guy who owns it.
Yeah.
He runs it, the main guy. I can't remember his name.
I saw him on another show the other day.
He was on AFTV with Big Steve the other day.
That's right.
He knows Rice's family personally.
Ooh, name drop.
He knows them personally. Shut up, yeah. He knows them personally. And he said, nobody knows what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I can guarantee you, City, it is true, City will only bid if he wants to come. Charlie put a comment in earlier about this is why personal terms get agreed first. There's no point in putting bids in for players who have no interest in coming. So they find out first whether they want to come. Yeah,
of course. That's what I'm saying. It's done ass upwards these days, isn't it?
Exactly.
I think now it used
10
to be
years
done.
ago, it was tapping up, and now it's just the norm. Mason Mount's been sat at Chelsea having personal terms agreed for about 3 months. They just can't agree a fee. So Mason Mount sat there going, what do I do at this point? I'm just stuck now. And that's the problem. I don't know. My only worry is...
Speaking of Mason Mount, let's go back to a conversation we had earlier when you was bubbling going, we'll end up with Mason Mount at this rate.
Go on.
No, it's not. And I keep saying, right, so here goes a little bit of a conversation me and Martin had earlier. Martin's quite concerned about the midfield, and I'm saying it's not even bloody January. It's not even July yet.
I hope it's not January. I missed my holiday.
Did you have a nice holiday, mate? So yeah, I'm saying it's not July yet. We only finished the season 2 weeks ago. So one's gone out, Gundogan. One's pretty much come in Kovacic. I'm not panicking in any way, shape, or form because.
Do you know? Can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
The only reason I said it is, remember what I said to you earlier about you look at windows. It's very weird how this works. I don't know why it works this way. Last season was a window of strikers. Everyone was going after strikers. The summer before was a window where everyone was buying centre-backs and defenders. This summer seems to be the midfield turn.
No, it's strikers. Now everyone's striking about...
Yeah, everyone's striking at the minute, yeah. But at the
moment,
you
listen to certain journalists, that is.
If you look, you've got Moises Caicedo, who's very close to going to Chelsea, if they can get that.
Who we wasn't in for.
Tanal has gone to Newcastle.
We wasn't in for.
Bellingham's gone to Madrid. McAllister, again, I agree. We're not in. I'm not saying we're not. I'm just saying McAllister's already gone. So what I'm saying is, once you then get to know Rice, you're kind of running out of options of where you go. That's all I'm saying is. But this is all because, as I said to you, if you remember a conversation we had 3 months ago, they should have known what was going to happen with Jude a lot sooner.
I think we got led up the path there with that one.
We should have pulled from that Jude deal earlier and gone, right, where do we go now? Or said to Gundogan, we need to know earlier than what you're telling us. To tell us 3 weeks, 2 weeks after that we've just won a treble is great for him, bad for us, because everyone else is moving already. Everyone seems to think that deals get done when the window opens. No, they get finalised when the window opens.
Can I just say, Scott, you lick windows, so you are a great expert at windows, my friend.
Where's that come from?
Scott there? No, you look out of windows. I'm reading.
No, so that's all I mean of is a deal. I think we were a bit led up the garden path with Jude as a club. Somebody's fallen for that, and we've gone, okay then, all Jude. We've then lost Jude. We've now lost Gundogan. McAllister could have been on a list. We don't know. He's gone. So what I'm saying is, where'd you go? We're kind of going to Barella next. Now, I'm not that panicking because if you remember, we lost Company and we didn't get our first choice. Didn't get our second choice. We got Diaz. Worked out all right.
Of course.
I'm not saying it's Bellingham, Rice or bust. There will be other alternatives, but this is why City always do release clauses. Because I don't think they're very good at negotiating sometimes. I don't think they're great at it. I don't think we're very good at negotiating prices for some weird reason. And I think we just like a release clause. If that, it is funny. We are kind of release clause FC. Thank you. That's it. There's two of him and another guy. Thank you, Michael.
And I think Alex nailed it there as well, mate. City will have plenty to spend, but won't be mugged. And we've saw that with Cucurella, haven't we? It is only as recently as the last transfer window. We won't be mugged off because it's a known fact City have got money. I think the difference with this one though, mate, we are willing to pay pretty much whatever for Declan Rice if you read in the media. And at the end of the day, we're only discussing what's in the media. We don't know whether it's truthful or a load of BS. So we've got the money. So to me, it seems like down to either forcing Arsenal because they know Declan Rice wants to join them. Apparently, I'm only saying apparently, or to get Arsenal for West Ham to get Arsenal for them instalments to go a little bit less. Over 2 windows.
My concerns are only because we have a very aging midfield. Mm-hmm. We also have Bernardo Silva, who is still couldn't be God. That's another thing we don't know where we're even at. My point is, we're still going to need to replace him.
Yeah,
might need to replace KDB. So there's still replacements. There's still surgery in that midfield that has to be happening. I'm just saying is, because personally, I think centre-back wise or defence wise, we're the best in the league. I think attacking wise, we're the best in the league.
I've got my boots ready anyway, waiting for that call off Pep.
I think the only area we're a bit so with at the moment is midfield, and that's only because of ages. I think we've got more than enough because Gvardiol will come in. Absolutely fine. Like I said, defence-wise, attack-wise, not a problem. The midfield's a bit more of a problem because you've got Bernardo who won't make a decision.
How do we know Gvardiol's coming in? Because we're listening to the same journalists what have led us up the path here.
Only because with that, the way I do it is I look at breadcrumbs. I look at a breadcrumb trail. What are Leipzig currently doing?
Trying to find the birds, are you?
No, what are RB Leipzig currently doing at the moment?
They're recruiting for his replacement.
Who are they recruiting?
Don't they want Laporte?
they're after a left-sided centre-back. They're in the goal.
Yeah.
Can't remember who the guy is, which then tells me there's going to be a left-sided centre-back going out the door. And plus, Leipzig are desperate for money. They haven't got a lot of money. The McAllister one is a weird one. How that must have been a private negotiation or agreement. I don't know where that's come from. I don't know how they've even got him for 35 million.
I'll be honest. If we sign McAllister, I'd be a bit underwhelmed.
Well, I think he's a player.
It's about opinions, isn't it? I'd be a little bit underwhelmed with McAllister.
All right, then. Would you be underwhelmed?
Gary McAllister.
Would you be underwhelmed with Rice?
No, I think he would have a natural adapting time where Pep would be using him as a number 8 rather than a number 6. He'd have to adapt that way. Now,
okay, let me throw another question. Is Rice looking at the Phillips situation and not fancying his chances?
That's what I said. I think we are a little bit victims of our own success, where we've got players now. So, like our first, what you call proper 11. Well, 10 now. But Gundo's gone. If you as a player coming in, you must fancy. Do you fancy your chances of moving? If I'm coming in to try and fight for a place with Rodri, I'd be thinking that's a tough ask, that. And you've only got to look at Kalvin Phillips, so it's a great point, But me being Rice, I'd be thinking, but to be fair, I'm better than Kalvin Phillips. But
some people don't think he is, and I've heard City fans think that.
No, I'm speaking as if I was Declan Rice. Right?
Oh right, yeah.
So I'm potentially got an offer in from City. I'd be thinking I'd need to speak to Pep because my playing time will be very, very limited, less than what I'm used to. I'm the West Ham captain and I'm an England international, first choice England international now.
Euros coming up.
Yeah, the Euros are coming up. Now, is Pep going to play me as a bit part player for when Rodri needs minutes not playing? Or he's going to put me in a Gundogan situation? But hang on, if they're putting me in a Gundogan situation, they've just brought Kovacic in as well. So that's a bit competitive, that. So that's what I'm saying. Are we victims of our own success?
I just don't want to see Rodri play 60 games again.
No,
we're not.
Mate.
The only reason is, mate, we're not. For 3 years on the bounce, we've had to play Rodri. And do you remember what we said about Liverpool with Jude? If they got Jude, and we said his career would be over by 28, it'd be finished. I'm starting to think, bloody hell, could Rodri be in that situation? Because the guy doesn't rest.
I get that, mate. And one thing we're certain of, Pep recognises that, what all City fans recognise, Rodri needs rest sometimes. However, there's no adequate replacement at the moment, apart from Jamie Pollock.
We're not that bad, Stuart.
So... And another one, a little concern. What you have also is, our players, have they got wind that Pep is going to go in 2 years, and they're thinking,
See, that's Matt. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Then I thought about it.
It's a valid point.
What guarantees Arteta's there in 2 years?
True.
This is why I don't buy into all this manager stuff, because number one, Arteta, where is it Arteta goes? If Arteta doesn't win the league or goes third or fourth, we're talking like Arsenal, 100% guaranteed to come and challenge for the league. I've heard some Arsenal fans say they're going to win the Champions League. Then again, I've heard Newcastle fans tell us they're going to win the league this year, and I'm loving the confidence, but there's a big difference between saying it and doing it.
Belly 81's got a great point. It's something we've discussed privately there as well, isn't it, mate? If Rice joins Arsenal, just shows his lack of ambition, and he's not brave enough to test himself in Pep's system. Spot on, mate. And it's, and there is that. And is it a scenario of Kalvin Phillips? Big fish in a little pond kind of scenario, well, let's no disrespect to West Ham because I like West Ham, you know, I really do. However, he at the moment he is a big fish in a little pond, isn't he? Whereas if he goes to Arsenal, he could still potentially be a big fish in a pond.
That's, you know what? Maybe Rice, Belly's right. Maybe Rice wants to be the superstar.
He won't be
at Arsenal. He'd be the superstar. At City, he won't. But Grealish, for all his haters, had a pair on him and went, no, I can stay at Villa and be the big fish in the little pond. No. Riyad Mahrez, for all his haters, Premier League winner, could have been a big fish in a little pond.
Same with Phillips, mate.
Kalvin Phillips took the gamble. I'm the number one guy at Leeds. No, I'm going to go and have a go. What I'm saying is, it takes a brave man to walk away from your comfort zone. And what this London thing's a load of garbage. It's 3 hours up the road, down the road, sorry. 3 frigging hours.
It's longer on the M6 on a Friday, mate.
No, I know it is, but, you know, it's not like it's a million miles away, in all fairness. That's so we're saying Declan Rice's choice of clubs forever is Chelsea, Arsenal, and West Ham. Is that it? Is that his career? Are you telling me Real Madrid knocked on the door? Declan Rice goes, no, I want to stay in London.
You don't know. Has he got the gonads to make that? And everything's only speculation.
Don't come out with a big speech about I want to win titles, I want to win Champions Leagues, I want to win FA Cups. Because I'm telling you now, if I had a choice out of Arteta and Pep Guardiola, there's only one manager I'm choosing here.
Spot on, mate.
And it ain't Arteta.
Spot on, mate. And again, it's only speculation. You know, nobody's actually heard anything off Declan Rice. He's probably looking at social media and giggling his gonads off, to be fair.
If City have gone and he turns us down, it tells me he's not got a set of you-know-whats.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad then we've missed out on him.
The same with Jude, mate. You know, I think he's gone... I know people are starting accusing the Premier League of being a farmers' league because City are always winning it. Nobody threw that accusation when United was winning it year after year, however. But it's not. It's more competitive, the Premier League, than La Liga. So for Bellingham to have gone there, I think he's bottled it a little bit, you know, if I'm being totally honest. And I'm thinking now with Rice, if, and it is a big if it is true that he has chosen Arsenal, it can only be one of two things. He's bottling coming to be just another player in Pep's team, or he does want to stay in London.
The London thing I find mad because you are so. What you are doing is being Harry Kane 2.0.
Yep.
What's Harry Kane going to show his grandchildren? Harry Kane is a fantastic striker, one of the country's best. Broken records. When he sits down with his grandchildren in 30, 40 years' time, Grandad, shows you medals.
He might be a Jaffa, mate. He might not be able to have them.
All right. What's he going to do? Show them his Golden Boot awards?
To be fair, he can pull out the Audi trophy, can't he?
Exactly. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Have a set of what's it? What is this? They need to be sat with mummy, sucking on a thumb, going, oh, I'm sorry, excuse my language here, but they need to get off the you-know-what, stop breastfeeding, and become a man. This, I want to live 5 minutes from my house, doesn't wash with me anymore. It doesn't wash. If it was Chelsea or United, I get it. We are talking Pep Guardiola. And for me, this is why City have never had to go and buy superstars. Because they've already had that. The superstar was already there. The superstar was the manager.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, I don't get it.
Speaking of managers, Ethan FIFA, Arteta isn't a good manager. Now, the reason why I've left that on the screen is, have you seen some of these documentaries of Arteta sponsored by Costa Coffee. He seems to berate the players in a disrespectful way. If he spoke to me like that, whether he's my manager or not, he'd get one on his noggin.
I'm going to say something else.
I don't know. I nearly did, to be fair.
I like Arteta. I think he's a good manager. The one thing I think Arteta did wrong was, I think to go from City to Arsenal is a massive thing. The trouble is, let's be honest, Arsenal is a cutthroat fan base. I heard Daps talking about it earlier, and it's right. Arsenal fans are not forgiving. Let me use an example. 2 months ago, all I heard was Thomas Partey's the greatest CDM in the country. All I got told. He's better than Rodri, he's better than Casemiro, he's better than everything. A month later, he's on his way to Juventus, it looks like. He's not that good. Declan Rice is coming in to be better. They flip-flop more than a beach. I don't know what they're doing.
I must admit, I think they're the most fickle fans on the planet.
Yeah,
I don't mean just because the season what's just gone. I mean, in general, Arsenal fan TV, it's absolutely embarrassing. And that's everyone thinks it's popular because it's good. It's not, because everyone's laughing at them. Not, it's if there was a City channel like that, I wouldn't even go anywhere near it. Don't be saying this one is. But you know what I mean? They are the most fickle fans I've ever known.
And you imagine the pressure. There you go, 70 games. Can you imagine the pressure of 100? Because, by the way, it's now come out, West Ham are waiting for up to 120 million quid. For a start off, I don't think Arsenal will even go that far. That's the other thing Rice has to contend with at this point. Because what does Rice do? Because I tell you what, if he turns City down now, and I'm saying if, because we don't know, City won't come back. We've
got something that West Ham want, and that's Kalvin Phillips. So it could come down if City threw that card in, but we have to be careful with that one, because if Pep does offer Kalvin Phillips, that's going to blow Kalvin Phillips' head for next season. His head will fall off. But if it comes to it, City could go, we've got Kalvin Phillips, we'll put that as part of the deal, and then all of a sudden, then Rice would have two choices. I've got to go to City or I've got to stay at West Ham.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that, though, because that's not fair on Kalvin.
I agree with you. I get what you're saying. And I'm keeping stum on Phillips for a bit, because I've had my throat cut over that comment the other night, which was totally taken out of context, by the way. Because I said, what I meant was, I think he's crap for Manchester City. I think we have to remember, to play for Manchester City now, you have to be elite.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Manchester City of 20 years ago. This is Manchester. I heard someone say the other day, Kalvin Phillips is as good as Declan Rice. I nearly fell off my chair. Sorry, I'm not having that. Kalvin Phillips, listen, I was very excited with Kalvin Phillips when we bought him. But, again, the only thing I'm going off is, because everyone will tell me, Grealish had a bad year, Rodri had a bad year, give him a year. The difference is, they all played. Phillips is not playing. It is very commendable of Phillips to go, I'm willing to stay here and fight. That is brilliant. Problem is, he is not a kid. He's 28, 29 years old. He can't spend 2 seasons sitting on a bench. Can't do it.
It's a big season for him, isn't it, for Kalvin?
Yeah.
Because I'd love nothing more than him. If, just say, for whatever reason, we don't sign another midfielder, we go with what we've got, including Bernardo. I hope Kalvin really flourishes, because I think he's getting the shitty end of the stick a little bit with a lot of City fans, to be fair, mate. we're saying he's not good enough and stuff like that, which I can see.
Right.
At the moment,
Gomez getting the shitty end of the stick.
I think he's better than Sergio Gomez, mate.
No, but this is what I mean. How come it's okay to say one play's crap and not good enough and the other one's not?
I'm not saying he's crap. Sergio Gomez would probably get in a dozen Premier League teams.
Sergio Gomez is at Manchester City because we couldn't get the Cucurella deal over the line. Pep's own words, he was going to Girona.
I'm just reading. Muddy Duck, Rice keeps saying that he wants to win everything, but Yaya told him when he visited, watch the video, the best development in competition with world-class players and how much to learn off Silva. I just don't get the again, is it just speculation because everyone's hanging on all these journalists every word? I'd like to see what West Ham would officially say or what Declan Rice would actually say.
The problem is we don't know. We don't know what is going on.
Is that your burner account, Martin?
Yeah. Listen, I understand as fans we want every player to succeed who comes in the door. I'm not there's no point in me saying anything about Phillips because what makes me laugh is last season nobody was giving Phillips any credit. I don't care what they say now. I can go back to all my lives and all of them were saying dumb.
No, you spot on.
Now we're into a new season. It's given him a year. Let's see what happens. He's not had a chance. The guy's been fit from January. He was injured before the World Cup. From January onwards, he was fit. So someone needs to, and again, wasn't playing. Grealish, Rodri, who else had a bad first season? There was a few that have not had a great few seasons.
Ake.
Did they all play still?
Ake didn't play a great deal, mate, if I'm honest.
A lot more than Phillips did.
Yeah, and early doors, granted, Phillips did have injuries early doors. And there was a point he had a problem with, was it his collarbone or something like that. I'd be interested to see how many games Ake did play versus the others. But you're right, they did get playing time.
All of them did. Sterling had a bad first season, and he played 30-odd games still. That's all I'm saying is they were all still trusted. There's a trust issue going on here with Phillips.
Listen, Ed versus Art. Do I think Kalvin Phillips will make it at City? No, I don't. I honestly don't. But we've got to give him an opportunity to either succeed or fail, haven't we? Is a year down the line now, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I know. Listen, I agree with that. I'm just looking now. I agree with that. All right, then. Let me answer a separate question. We don't buy anyone.
Yeah.
We go with Kalvin Phillips. Kalvin Phillips still doesn't improve next year. Not one fan then can have a bitch and a moan.
No, you're absolutely right. You're right. So let's get on to Bernardo.
You can't improve after when that window shuts. That's it. So and this is my point. The reason I'm okay with it, Andy, because like I said to you, you're like me. We don't win a trophy, so be it. You're still going to be there supporting them.
Yep,
there will be fans, though, if Rodri snaps his leg, God forbid, in the first month of the season, and you're going with Kalvin Phillips the rest of the season, and we finish fourth.
I think Pep would still play Rodri one leg. He'd still play Rodri one leg.
Mate, he played John Stones and Rico Lewis ahead of Phillips last season. Has that all been forgotten about?
Listen, it doesn't look good for Kalvin Phillips, right?
When did Ake sign?
Not last season, season before. It's his second season with us.
He played. I'm just looking now. He started 14 games, played just under 1,000 minutes.
But that was when Laporte was injured. So Pep had no choice there, really, because he had faith in him to be able to play. It's different with Kalvin Phillips. We know he's not in the same league as Rodri. Listen, there's no players in the world in the same league as Rodri.
When did Sterling sign?
About 8 years ago. 7, 8 years ago.
I mean, it was, wasn't it? It was. So he played nearly every single game in his first season.
To be fair, John, one man can't keep a. I was going to say one man can't keep a team up, really, but Kalvin Phillips did with Leeds, didn't he?
But listen, I hope he does improve. I really do hope he does. I'm just saying that I still think we need to buy with or without Phillips.
That's what I'm saying, what Stuart's saying there. I didn't, and that's why I mentioned it about his injury, Stu.
He was injured up until January. What happened from there?
Listen, from January, after the World Cup, mate, we just went on a crest of a wave pretty much, and it was we just went with it. Not if you think about it, not many. Pep didn't really chop and change a lot on the running.
I'm not listening. I really want, because like I said, Kalvin Phillips, I was excited about when we bought him. I thought, right, we've got a proper backup for Rodri now. But sadly, for the first, my issue is not, again, though, Alec, they were still being played. That's my, this is the bit, I'm not arguing that he can't improve. Somebody needs to come back to me and say to me, why has he not been played when he's been fit? Sheffield United away in the semi-final of the Cup, Sergio Gomez got picked. Kalvin Phillips not picked. Chelsea, when we won the league. He played against Chelsea. There was other games where we all went, this is time for Kalvin Phillips. And he just didn't play.
I think the writing was on the wall, if I'm honest, when he moved an EDS lad into midfield.
Yeah, Rico. That's a great point.
Rico
Lewis got in ahead of him at CDM.
And he's converting a centre-back in Stones to go in there, mopping up and stuff like that. Listen, if he stays with us, a good pre-season, a year under his belt, we don't know. Right, Bernardo. Let's talk about Bernardo, mate. As far as I'm concerned,
I'm going to get blasted in these at the end.
No, as far as evening DC, as far as I'm concerned, Bernardo stays. I don't care if he wants to go. If we do not sign somebody first, Bernardo stays. It's simple as that. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Don't care if he wants to go because his wife doesn't like the food or the weather. Let her go into south of France or wherever she wants. He signed. Nobody forced him to sign that contract. He's been trying to get out for 3 seasons. Don't care. You signed a 5-year deal, mate. So as far as I'm concerned, you honour your contract. Different if we sign somebody who we think we can afford to let Bernardo go now. Other than that, he stays. Simple.
There's a bit of breaking news on Bernardo.
He's staying.
City offered him a contract.
Have they? Where, who's that come from? David Ornstein?
Duncan Castles.
See? So straight away, we're just hearing this as you're talking. If Bernardo signs a new deal, mate, it's all about the money. Nothing. It's all about the money. And why has this come out then on the day that apparently Declan Rice wants to sign for Arsenal. So if that's breaking news, mate, let's discuss it. Because that was bang on the Bernardo link there. You couldn't have timed that better, could I?
I've always said I was always behind Bernardo. Always behind him. Loved him. Thought he was fabulous.
Yep.
And then what kept peeing me off was every single window, him or his agent was talking. Now, when you keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, because every window he gets asked, will you be here next season? He says, I don't know.
Every international duty, to be fair.
Every international duty he goes out, I don't know. Not once have I ever heard him say, I want to stay at Manchester City.
We used to get that. Aguero used to get asked that. David Silva did. Company did. Players of that ilk. They all said, why do... De Bruyne has been asked it many times. They always say, why do I want to go anywhere else? I'm happy at City. They always come out. So I agree with you. Bernardo could quash things like that.
In a way, this is good. Now they've offered him the contract, which I heard that he's been on the table for a bit, actually. We'll now see. If he refuses this, I think City have been very clever here.
Yeah, they're calling his bluff.
Do you know what it means? If he doesn't sign this, he'll go this summer. Because the problem is you're at that, what I call you're at the crucial stage of a contract. You're at 2 years.
Oh, Charlie got there before you, mate. It's just that his comments were lower down.
No, but you're at the 2 year mark.
Yeah.
Because 2 years is generally when you either sell or you start talking new contracts. He's still only, 28 in the peak of his career. If it was about money, he'd be going Saudi Arabia. Because that interest is real. There is a real interest from Saudi. My only issue is,
let me ask you a question.
Contract with City,
let me ask you a question.
His mind?
And I think you're going to say exactly what I think you are. The question I was going to ask you is, what is it? What is he driven by? And listen, if we got offered a phenomenal contract, at our rival workplaces and stuff like that, we'd take it. As money to these guys, mate, it's nothing. They financially looked after now for the rest of their lives. However, what I will say is, the Saudi deal has only just come over the past few days, so that's money orientated, which I think he would seriously think about. PSG would obviously offer him a bucket load of money, and so would Barcelona. Because people think because we're Manchester City, we're one of the richest clubs in the world, we pay the best wages. It's not always the case. De Bruyne, when he signed his new deal, he took a pay cut to stay with us. That is very few and far between. You all right there, love?
Yeah, I was just reading something.
That's
to me,
right.
we're about to find out whether it is money orientated.
Listen, let the guys in the comments there. Do you think Bernardo's driven by money, or genuinely is missus?
It bugs me a bit if he, in a way, this is going to sound really bad. If he signs that contract,
how will the fans feel if they think it's just about the money?
I'll be straight with you. I think the fans love Bernardo no matter what.
But will they
My
think,
issue is if Tevez or Yaya had done this, different story.
Absolutely, mate. I think it's because he's got a song.
Certain players are allowed to do whatever they want.
Yep.
That's what bugs me. I love Bernardo, but I am very much the same. Bernardo was doing exactly what Yaya Toure did.
Yep, absolutely.
And Yaya Toure is not classed as a City legend because of the way him and his agent behaved.
Yeah.
Tell me what's different between Yaya and Bernardo Silva right now.
I reckon Bernardo may have got cake for his birthday.
That's all I'm going to say.
No, you're
What
right.
is the difference between Yaya and Bernardo Silva? But one is not classed as a legend anymore, and one is classed as a legend. This is my issue with this Bernardo stuff. It's not that he's not a brilliant player and he hasn't given his all on the pitch, but don't tell us for 3 years you want to be closer to home. You want to go back to Benfica in the end, then sign a new contract.
Or go to Saudi.
Yeah, or go to Saudi Arabia. Because you are going back on everything you've said.
I've never been great at geography, mate, but even I think Saudi Arabia is a little bit further than Manchester to Portugal.
A little bit.
MCFC there. Bernardo can go get a suitable replacement. Sick of him moaning about us. Absolutely, mate. You know, I might get pelters for saying this.
No, he's not moaning about us, he's moaning about the weather and the lifestyle.
He'll probably go to Saudi Arabia and moan that it doesn't rain much. It's too hot. Being facetious now, but yeah, I think let us know in the comments. It's you know, let's flick through some of the comments if they think it's
We're already getting pelters.
We are good, and it's
People are putting Bernardo's never moaned. I could pull up about 20 quotes right now where he's talked about it. So I mean, some fans won't have anything said against him. The same as KDB. Some fans won't have anything said against KDB.
I tell you what, I'll go one further, mate. Bernardo went hiding back end of the season. Yes, he scored 2 goals against Real Madrid at the Etihad. Yeah, he scored. That's pretty much all he's done for the back end of the season. But you're right. Certain people won't have a word. We're not allowed to criticise, have opinions about star players. I just think, listen, I wouldn't, going back to what I said originally, that said, I would not let him go until we have a suitable replacement.
Remember the quote that came out in March? From Bernardo Silva.
Say that again, mate.
Do you remember the quote that came out from Bernardo Silva when he says there was the good discussions with Barcelona?
Yeah.
He openly admitted he wanted to go to Barcelona.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get the money. If you are committed to stay, why discuss with another club?
If he wants it that much, why don't he pay for his way to go to Barcelona?
This is all I'm saying. So when certain fans, listen, and I get it, I understand it. When fans say he's never said anything, they need to go back and look at the actual quotes he has. I admit he gives 100% on the field. I'm not judging him on his feel on the field. I'm judging his antics off it. Be quiet. Let's put it on, mate. Like me, for example, if I went into my job and I told my boss every 6 months I hated the school I was at and I didn't want to be there, and I kept doing that and kept doing that and kept doing that, what will my boss say? Go then. So I go to an interview. I go to 3 interviews. Every single interview turns me down. But I still go back to my other job and moan about where I'm working. They ain't going to stand for it. Even though I'm giving me all in the job. You see what I mean? This is what I'm saying. You got to look at it in a different way of he's brilliant on the pitch.
Something's just dawned on me. Something's just dawned on me, mate. So, people saying Bernardo's never asked to move, la-di-da-di-da. How come the players were singing, please don't go to him?
Yeah, why was Jack Grealish like that to him?
Yeah, why was he all singing, please don't go? Listen, I've loved Bernardo. Absolutely loved him. You know, He's a genuine world-class player.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, and Scoot's right there. We have chips and gravy. We absolutely do. And on a chip muffin, though. Have it on a chip muffin. Not
Listen, me and
muffin.
Andy will get pelters, and I get it. Again, we're not disputing what he does on the pitch. But I know a lot of Blues who are getting a little bit annoyed by Bernardo's behaviour off the field. Off the field. This is the difference. And all I would ask back to them is, why was Yaya allowed to do it, not allowed to do it, but Bernardo is? Personally, I'll be honest with you, Andy. I think we need another midfielder, whether with or without Bernardo.
No, I do, and I forget who it was. Somebody said in the comments. I think it was Julie. Actually, Julie said that regardless whether Bernardo goes or stays.
If Bernardo goes, we need 2 more midfielders.
We've got a lot of games coming up next season.
7 competitions.
That's what happens if we win 7 trophies?
Peroni's going out on loan, mate.
Which that's the end of Peroni, in my opinion. Because
He's going to Verona.
So is it you who said, mate, that Peroni only joined us if he got guarantees he didn't go out on loan? So I think that's the end of him. Yeah, we've got McAtee coming back by all accounts, but that's not the answer. Could you really trust resting KDB and putting McAtee there?
This is the problem. This is my issue. I'm okay with not winning trophies. You're okay with not winning trophies. So I'm not bothered who comes or stays at this point. I'm still going to be there. 99% of people in here will be there. But there will be fans who have a meltdown if we don't win a trophy.
Mm-hmm.
So to try and keep it all happy and balanced, you need to improve your squad. There's a lot of talk. People want the EDS. EDS is what it is. It's a meat machine. I said the other day, and you know the person, I spoke with someone who works at a football club at lower level. And I'm talking in professional level. Championship, League One level. City had already sent the list of EDS players going out available. Peroni was on it. Palmer was on it. It was the other guy who was on it. Told you about the other day. What's he called?
Yeah, there's a few on it, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I don't know if McAtee's ready to come in.
He's not. It's not only my opinion. It's only my opinion. I don't think he's. Listen, he had a great season. Don't get me wrong, he had a great season for Sheffield United. He contributed massively in their promotion and stuff like that. So did Tommy Doyle. With the greatest respect, Sheffield United and Manchester City, it's like night and day.
Tommy Doyle is not good enough for Manchester City. I'm sorry, I know this is harsh, but they're not. Listen,
it's not a balm or a balm.
Muffin. I would love 11 Manx in that team.
Yeah.
But it ain't going to happen. Again, I said this to everyone. Name me one player who's gone out loan and come back and got back in the first team. Rico Lewis never went on loan. No. Phil Foden never went on loan. If you are there, you don't go on loan. Liam Delap was going to be the next big thing. And he's actually been sent away from his loan clubs. Stoke didn't want him. Preston didn't want him. So what do? It's the step up from EDS to Manchester City first team is a chasm.
Okay. I'll let you answer that first, off Stuart. Why wouldn't you trust McAtee? If Pep picks him, he trusts him. Fair point.
That's what we're saying, Stuart. Does he pick him?
or will he bring him back as that
backup,
homegrown? Because by all accounts, rumours being rumours, it looks like Cole Palmer is going to be going. I should imagine it's only going to be loaned.
What's just happened at Leicester?
Relegated.
No, Maresca, the former EDS manager, and then became Pep's assistant.
Yeah.
Maresca's just joined Leicester City as their new manager. Maresca's already come out and said, I am going to be going to Manchester City and taking some of their EDS players to come in. So I expect Borges to go to Leicester. I might expect a few others to go to Leicester City and get them back to the Premier League. Because that's Big Morgan's hit one nail on the head. Brahim Diaz. Do you remember Brahim Diaz being the next big thing?
To be fair, Brahim Diaz, he went on to Real Madrid and now he went on loan to AC Milan. It's hardly also ran clubs, is it?
Don't play them. Eric Garcia, Barcelona. Barcelona are now getting rid of him.
Just let me answer Big Morg. Big Morg, message me in a bit, pal, and I'll tell you. It only come today. A nice shiny light.
You got to... Does it help? Here's a question. Does it help players to keep winning Premier League 2 and coming and sitting on the bench at Manchester City in the first team? Has it helped Palmer?
I think Palmer's a better player now since he's been training with the lads.
Is he good enough for Manchester City's first team?
Cup competitions. Yeah, and it is. Well, I say this with a heavy heart a little bit, mate, because I like Cole Palmer. Is he the elite? What we need?
You say cup competition. None of them really played in the FA Cup a lot. Because of the teams we generally got, we generally went with quite a strong 11, if you look. Cole Palmer played against Burnley. He didn't even play against Burnley, if you remember. He came on as a sub. Remember that?
Yeah.
Now, if he's coming on as a sub against Burnley, and the only time he played in the Carabao Cup was Southampton away, and we all remember what happened there.
Yeah.
This is all I'm saying.
Ethan, okay. Ethan's saying, how isn't Doyle good enough? You reply, Ethan, if you would prefer Tommy Doyle to come in place of Rodri for 10 games. Yes, Alec, I believe Michael Johnson would be, mate. Michael Johnson was special, mate. I just wish, with all the help, what clubs and that have now, in place, that was around when Michael Johnson was going through his mental health issues and stuff like that. Because he was a proper baller. He really was.
Other than Rico Lewis and Foden, who's come through the academy into ours and played on the regular.
Say that again.
Apart from Rico and Foden, who's come through and been on the regular.
There isn't, mate. And that is the problem. That's where we've got to try and dissect things where, like we always said, we love a starting 11 of Mancunians every single week. The reality, it's not there. We said, I think we said on your show on Thursday.
We're not back club anymore.
No, EDS, the academy, is to bring players through if they're not good enough. So first and foremost, the players go out and have a great career elsewhere, which we're seeing, with the likes of Iheanacho and players of that ilk, tossing at Fulham, etc., who are having great careers. We get a few quid for them, which runs the academy. That the academy is paid for. Then, like with Iheanacho when he went, our academy was paid for them for the next few years. Just because we're rich doesn't mean to say we have to keep. It's a business as well.
I've heard it all. Adoza was going to be the next big thing.
You're dozy.
No, it's like the thing is, Olivier Borges is a great player in PL2, one player of the season in that league. I watched him for Girona. I was at the Girona game. He looked a little bit out of his depth. There is a massive difference between that and Manchester. We have to look at Manchester City in the same way you look at Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. You've got to look at it in that sense.
Spot on, Muddy Duck.
We're treble winners. We're treble winners. We're not Manchester City of 15 years ago where we can bring in Jim Whitley, Jeff Whitley, no disrespect, Willow Flood and all that, you know, Ray Ingram. That is not us anymore. And it's just the academy is there.
Sancho as well. Sancho as well, Alec.
Yeah. Sancho, Jaden Braff, all went. Where's Jaden Braff now? All I'm saying is we've got to step away from the sentimentality. Yes, we want to get 11 Mancs in there or 11 homegrown lads from the EDS in there, but sometimes they're not ready. Do you know, I think what Pep's doing is quite clever. If you look what he's doing, there's one or two not being loaned out. He's bringing them into the first team squad, putting them on the bench, watching them in training, and then generally, if they don't play the season after, they go out on loan. The problems with McAtee, for example, if McAtee, if he comes back, McAtee is going to want games. Who does McAtee get in front of?
That's what I'm saying. We sometimes we're letting that rule that.
Alvarez, Mahrez, Bernardo. Who's he get in front of? McAtee is not going to come back to play 2 games in a Carabao Cup and 10 minutes against Everton.
With Ray, I'm a great believer. Yeah, if you buy world-class players and you've got a stunning EDS graduate, they will always get through. And we've seen that with Rico Lewis, haven't we? And we've seen it with Phil Foden. They didn't necessarily have to break through, but because they was good enough. Sometimes if they're good enough, they will come through regardless, in my opinion.
Pep's come out and said Lavia he didn't want to go on loan. If we didn't want him to go on loan, why are we not buying him back?
Jonathan, obviously I respect your opinion, mate, but the academy it churns talent out. Don't mean to say, listen, let us know if you would prefer for 6 academy players to come straight into our first team, be it on the bench or whatever. Let us know, but that's where we differentiate between the majority of City fans wouldn't be happy because they trophy orientated now, and that'd far outweigh people who would be willing to give them a 2-3 seasons. But it makes a lot of money, the academy, and as I say, just because we're a rich club doesn't mean to say that we can just spend the money. It's got to stand on its own 2 feet, as we've seen the way the club's being run now, the amount of money we're making with the world's #1 sports club. That's not by just closing things down like the academy and stuff like that. That's for the academy's helped us get to where we are.
I mean, Stuart, listen, I love your opinions. Stuart's really big on the McAtee's not going to come back from playing every minute against Sheffield United to come and sit on our bench. And send someone put, well, if we sell Bernardo, we can rotate McAtee with Mahrez. Mahrez wasn't playing last season in the big games. To me, that is massively weakening the squad down. Bernardo out and you're only left with Mahrez and McAtee. That is massively weakening us down. Because Mahrez was only playing in the smaller games. Mahrez wasn't playing in massive games. So
What I think what City
This
fans
Peroni thing, people go Peroni's world class. They don't know. They watch Peroni in the under-20s for Argentina. Under-20s Argentina is very different.
Martin, I think what City fans need to ask themselves, what do they really want? Did you want all the kids to come through? Listen, as we keep saying, we'd love nothing more if they're good enough. So would we want that? Or players, what we've got now, what are winning us stuff? They can't, for me, there can be a little bit of a happy medium with filtering, but we're getting that anyway with the likes of Rico Lewis and that coming through the back end of the season. We had other academy lads, on the bench and stuff like that.
Here's the question. Cole Palmer, how many minutes do you think Cole Palmer played last year?
Not a lot, mate.
If you had a guess.
Minutes, I would say 500 minutes, if that.
358.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
Right. So, and players are not going to leave a Premier League or Championship club playing week in, week out to come and play 300 minutes at Manchester City. They won't do it. Doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't help them.
I'm with Muddy Duck on this one, mate. We've spoke about this privately. I think it'd be great for Cole to do that, because one thing you can trust with Dortmund, you can trust that they'll look after and develop the players. We've seen that with some of the players, what they churn out and stuff like that. I think that'd be a great confidence booster for Cole Palmer. I really, really do. And Cole could actually be the only one what goes out on loan, comes back and be a regular. I think that would be good.
I mean, there's loads saying bring back McAtee, and again, no one's asking the question. What someone asked, where is McAtee going to play? McAtee's not going to come back to sit on a bench. He is a brilliant player. I'm not denying he's not a brilliant player, but we've got to look at Manchester City. The trouble is, it's the older fans who want the kids in, and I get that. I'm with you. I want to get the academy in, but I know we're not there anymore. We're not going to beat Liverpool or Real Madrid with James McAtee. We're not. I'm sorry. That's
what I'm saying, mate. City fans need to ask themselves a question. What do we really want? What do we really want to see at City? Do we want a chance for these lads to come through?
I want 11 homegrown in and we blood youngsters in, but then I know we're not going to win trophies. Exactly,
that's why I'm saying City fans need to ask themselves that question. What's acceptable? Is it acceptable to be 4th, 5th, 6th for the next 3 seasons, and then you're gambling that after that these lads would gel together and we're going to be world beaters? There's no guarantees in football with absolutely anything.
No, I mean, I mean, Ethan's put there McAtee over Kev. Where are you putting Foden?
I'm saying McAtee over Kev. I'm saying what?
This is what I mean. I don't know. You've got to look at it's not what the fans want anymore. I know that sounds really harsh. It's what the club want. Pep Gvardiol didn't want Gundogan to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Did he leave?
He did.
Listen, Foden won't be on the wing, mate. He's going to be in midfield. I like James McAtee. Do I think he's ready for Manchester City Football Club? No.
I'm with you on this, mate. Where he's just,
and I hate to say that.
I tell you what I'd like to see with McAtee. Another season with Sheffield United in the Premier League.
That's ideally what I'd prefer.
We can judge the lad proper then, because he's in the big boys league. I'm not saying the Championship isn't a hard league, because it is. It's one of the hardest leagues to get out of. But let's see how they do. You know, because I think Burnley could play a part as well with the likes of Gomez. Let's see where. If company rates him that high, he'll take in there, be it on loan or whatever.
Honestly, I wouldn't rule out Maresca playing bringing in a lot of these lads because he knows them all.
Yeah.
And, you know, Stuart, I'd feel like, listen, I get what you're saying. Stuart's old school like me and you. I get it. I just don't. For me, like Andy said, I prefer to see McAtee play 30-odd games in the Premier League, week in, week out at Burnley or Sheffield United, and then you can properly analyse him. I don't think it's. I get it because people want sentimentality.
Yeah.
I mean, I read somewhere the other day of what was it about McAtee, and it was McAtee was coming back, but they would reassess it at the end of the window. That tells me we're going to see who we bought and who we've sold. Then we'll make a decision on it.
Jonathan's put there, mate. Who does Rico displace week in, week out? I think Rico. I think we've seen he can play anywhere across the back. Can't it be left back, right back, or inverted left or right? What I think we do need is to nail him down with a position, because I think it's unfair on a young lad, you know, to be bounced about different positions. But has Pep got that trust in him to do that versatility?
I would say what's good for Rico is because he's got that versatility. He's in ahead of. We just said it earlier. He's ahead of Kalvin Phillips. That's what I mean about academy. When you are ready, Pep puts you in. Pep doesn't send you on loan if you are ready. Oh, hang on, we got some breaking news in the comments, Ander.
Where?
Yeah, Alan's put Silva is staying.
Is he?
Well, where's that come from? Bit of breaking news for you there.
Good evening, Katie. Hope you're well. Silva staying is a huge boost. Listen, if Bernardo Silva stays, there'll be nobody more delighted than me, even though I've had a pop at him for his off the field goings on. And people might say, yeah, but has anybody heard him say that? Yes, every time he goes on international duty. And yes, it's all about the money. But I'd accept it about the money if we get the performances out of him, mate, which we
never tell me. I'd never want to hear again about how crap Manchester is then. If he stays, I never want to hear about how he doesn't like Manchester or the weather. I never want to hear that ever again. Because, by the way, if he signs a new contract, that's probably it with him going to Benfica.
Listen, but what I'm saying is, as much as we're questioning him, if he does sign a new deal, ultimately it will be about the money. However, we know he will give. It'll give it us back on the pitch. So for me, that would be a huge plus. And for this to happen today tells me something has happened with Declan Rice, where Declan Rice has chosen Arsenal. So, Alan, where have you read that? Have you read it in the Beano?
Bloody is the Beano.
Yeah.
Alan, do you know what makes me laugh? Do you know what makes me laugh so much?
HP. Go on.
Do you know what makes me laugh so much? Should we just go back to the Brentford game? You know, the last game of the season.
Yeah.
What was the team?
I didn't see it, mate. I was drunk in Benidorm and it wasn't showing it anywhere.
Oh, you're funny.
I'm only telling you the truth. So is Alan just throwing one out there, Silverstein? Is it an opinion that Alan?
Of course he's throwing it. Of course he hasn't got a bloody clue.
Go on, Martin. You're the in the know on here. Go on.
He hasn't got a clue, Alan. Know that.
Go on, Martin. You're the in the know. Martin, please, how close is the Gvardiol deal?
They've agreed terms, that's all I know.
So where have you heard that from, Martin? The journalist who told us Declan Rice was a done deal?
No.
Yep.
No. By the way, do you want me to say everyone's going about EDS? Charles started. Shea Charles is the guy going out for 10
That's
million.
the one, yeah.
Gomez started, Lewis started, Palmer started, Phillips started, and we got beat 1-0. Everyone all right with that then?
Can't judge them on one game.
No, but this is what I'm saying, Andy. I'm okay with that, but I'm okay getting beat by Brentford 1-0 and finishing 5th. Is every fan going to be the same?
So what was your attitude when you supported Chelsea before 2008, mate?
Someone said to me the other day they saw me at Old Trafford.
Yeah?
I don't know when and where, but apparently they did.
Selling hot dogs?
Yeah, apparently so. But
so
no, I know, that's all I'm saying. Are you happy? Yes, some fans will. The club won't. Because I'm telling you now, Pep Guardiola finished like 8th, but blended a load of youngsters in. He'd probably end up getting the boot.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Right. I think, listen, me and Martin was only going to do half an hour, but we're almost into an hour and a half here.
I'm still waiting on Alan's sauce.
It's HP or ketchup.
Because Alan's talking out of his rear end.
Yeah. So listen, guys. I think we've had record live views tonight as well, and it's been really enjoyed it, mate. I'm glad we did it now. I hope you're feeling less stressed now than your phone call earlier to me.
No, look, listen. I'm totally. I mean, it's like people are saying about this Bernardo Silva news. I'll be honest with you. What I got told, the contract's always been there.
Yeah.
Contract's been on the table for a long time, unsigned. That's why I'm not confident he signs this contract, because it's not a new offer. The offer's been there for ages. He's just not signed it. So I don't know why so many people now think he's going to sign it, but we'll see. We'll see. I honestly think Bernardo will keep to his word. I think it's about environment. And that's why he'll go.
Well, only time will tell, mate, won't it?
Play Carson in pre-season. Oh, Ethan, you make me laugh.
It does. Right, listen, going to wrap it up there because I'm going to go and get drunk now, guys. Thanks for all your contribution as well, because
I'm going home tomorrow.
You going where?
I'm going home tomorrow.
Home?
Yeah, I'm going to Chester Zoo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not going to see a lot of Martin. He's going to Chester Zoo tomorrow. The chances of him getting out of Chester Zoo are 0. You know that baboon cage. You know they won't let him out of the monkey cage, will they? That's for sure. I could have said hippo.
Won't let you out the rhino one.
I could have said hippo, mate. Could have, but
that's true.
No. So yeah, thanks to everybody who's contributed tonight and stuff like that. As always, mate. Thanks for coming on short notice and stuff like that.
So you hate comments underneath. Martin hates. I've heard that today. Martin hates everyone.
And I think this is the first time I'm going to say this. For those who are not subscribing to our channel, would you mind? We're almost at 1,000. It'd be great to see it through to 1,000. It really would. And for those who are not familiar with Martin's YouTube channel, the Mancunian Way, absolutely brilliant channel as well. So yeah, let's share the love and
get him to 1,000. Get him to 1,000 and get us to 2,000.
Go on, stroke me head. Go on. No, stroke me head. Go on.
This makes no sense. Yeah, and Martin hates everyone. Martin hates Carson. Martin hates Phillips. Martin hates EDS. Martin hates Rice. Martin hates God bloody hell.
Martin might hate a lot of things, but he loves pies. Listen, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Get him to 1,000.
Yeah, we'll be doing our live stream tomorrow at 7:00 as per. And we'll chew the fat over that again. No, because Martin won't be allowed out of Chester Zoo. Thanks for joining us, guys, especially on a Saturday night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Bit more breaking news from Alan. Sorry, a bit more breaking news.
What?
Phillips is good enough.
Bye-bye now.